Trade. Yeah, I can hear myself in the background. That's also the wrong.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Screaming at the Next Level. My name is CupofRobots.
Good, I am the Deep Blue.
And with me, as always, is my brother in boldness, DJXD. Now, see, DJBluePDX. Jesus.
There we go.
Holy shit.
Oh, God, that was the most unexpected, This whole day just got really nuts, and I'm trying to figure out how the best way to handle this.
If you need to go handle it, we can go. I can hold it down here.
Yeah, I'm just not.
You let me know.
I'm just. So,
do you want to talk about it, or do you not want to talk about it?
I want to, it's a good question. I'm not sure if it's something we should talk about, but at the same time, like, I can be general about it. It is a very difficult time for people in the world, and I guess it hits everybody differently. So when a community member reaches out and expresses a desire or potential need to harm themselves, I'm immediately concerned. So that's a first for me to have to address, and of course it happened literally the minute before we came on for the podcast. So my mods are obviously managing and handling it, and I am trying to figure out the best way to address the situation, given the limited, like, if this was somebody I knew in personal life, obviously I would call the authorities, but this is not a situation that we have that luxury or that kind of information. So I guess we should start by saying, hi, welcome to the show. This is our show is brought to you by the number 18. It's time plus right M for mature. There's gonna be some mature themes and language presented today, but this was not how I anticipated starting the show today. So because I'm.
Well, keep an eye on that, and if you need to bounce, just let me know.
I'm just kind of obviously deeply bothered by this. This is not the kind of thing that that you anticipate having happen, and it's
it's rough. It's hard to deal with. It's you don't know how to react, right? There's no right or wrong way to react, I don't think, in your situation.
So hi everybody, welcome.
This is part. It's still January, so it means we're still talking about how to kick 20 and 21 in the ass. 2021 in the ass. I've been up since, I don't know. I didn't go to bed till 8 a.m. All right,
there we go.
We're working on a lot of stuff, and what part of what I'm working on is my future, my stuff that I want to do with my streaming content creation career. And that's what I promised you last week I would do, is show you exactly what I do as far as how I get game keys, how I go about talking to companies and things like that most people think they are not big enough of streamers to do, and it's just not true, because you can do this stuff at any size. But I do want to remind everybody that you can watch this show recorded live right here at twitch.tv/NextLevelTSC. If you are listening on a podcast service from around the globe, we are live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But if you don't have the time on Tuesday, you can definitely listen to us on any podcast service of your choosing, I think. I know for sure Spotify. And of course, that's always free, just the way we like it to be. Thanks to our sponsors, Blue Microphone and Aviar Media.
Yes.
And now that the housekeeping is out of the way, I do want to get into this. After I ask you how your week was, what you got going on, what's up with you, other than the obvious, just what's happening right now.
Yeah, you know, this is
or I can just move into my stuff if you don't want to talk about it.
So this week has been interesting. I've been really looking at readjusting how my schedule works, what I'm doing, and trying to redefine my balance for what what I'm looking into for 2021. Obviously, the world is going to be in a very different position, and there's a lot of change happening. This whole situation just hit me very much out of left field.
We can move on, man. We don't have.
I had a conversation with my community yesterday on Blue. It's known as Blue Monday. The third Monday of the month is apparently like the worst day of the year for people. And there's a reason why it's called Blue Monday.
Of January specifically?
Yeah. And it was explained to me by a community member who is currently helping manage the other situation. And I'm trying to figure out, there is a sense of, how do I put this? There's a sense of frustration that is happening, I think, with a lot of people in the community and a lot of people in the industry, especially with viewers and other streamers, it is frustration with, I would almost be willing to say, a lack of hope and fear. And I'm managing these elements, right? There we go. .ks has got it right there. So, according to .ks, Blue Monday is the name given to a day in January said by a UK travel company, Sky Travel, to be the most depressing day of the year. The concept was first published in a 2005 press release from the company, which claimed to have calculated the date using an equation. It takes into account weather conditions and thus only applies to the Northern Hemisphere. All right, so it's probably the darkest day with the most rain. And anybody who knows anything about living in the Pacific Northwest knows that is a very real, seasonal affective disorder is very real. Like it affects people based on the vitamins that you get from sun. So
vitamins.
That's why sometimes if we're gonna have like a month and a half of rain, it's worth it to go, or at least it was before COVID. It was worth it to go get a tanning package and jump into a tanning bed for 7 to 10 minutes, and just for the vitamin factor. Also making sure that you're taking lots of multivitamins and things, etc. Blah 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 blah. And for those of us who work in a broadcasting environment where natural lighting is not necessarily the greatest of tools for our cameras, we are not necessarily exposed during the day for extended amounts of time, and that's why we are vampiric in our paleness,
pasty whiteness.
Yeah. So I'm also keep looking over to keep an eye on things. This just ramped everything up, and there is a sense of hopelessness that I feel people are unfortunately experiencing, and it's really It's really disconcerting and disheartening.
It is, and I think it's compounded by the fact that this hopelessness we felt for a year of 2020 that was just stress after stress after stress. And then in our heads we're like, God, just once this year's over, it'll be all right. And then it wasn't. Obviously, we knew that wouldn't be you can't just because the calendar changes, it doesn't mean things all of a sudden change. But we didn't necessarily anticipate a higher production value sequel to 2020 right off the gate. So that adds to the whole, like, holy shit, you had this little bit of hope, and then it just makes it even harder. And I think a lot of people that aren't me, because I love being away from humans, I have a really hard time with being cut off from their friends and their family and not being able to do social activities. And I think we see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but then it's a really, really long tunnel still. And I think it adds to everything that goes on every year. I suffer from seasonal depression. I get, especially when I was living in Michigan 2 years ago, I grew up in Michigan, and this time of year is awful. Like, this time of year is right when it starts to transition into, if you go outside, there's potential death from cold time of year. And that gets really hard. You know, like, you don't see the sun for weeks. It's crazy. And you talked about getting vitamins and UV and everything like that. From what I understand, the military issues UV lamps to soldiers that are stationed in places like Siberia and Antarctica and places that don't have a lot of sunlight, just for their own mental health. And that's why it's important, and we talked about this last week. It's important to treat people, I don't want to say with kid gloves, but if you're an empath, which I feel like a lot of people in this community are anyway, try to dial it up a little bit. Don't treat people how you think they would want to be treated. Treat them how don't treat people how you would want to be treated. Treat them how you think they would want to be treated. Because a lot of people are really, really fragile right now.
Very fragile.
And I hope you guys all right.
I do too. I'm honestly very concerned. At the same time, it's always bothersome when you are in a position to ask that question, did I do enough to make sure that I am being an advocate for hope and I am providing positivity and putting out into the world what's needed in order to ensure that the people who are here and who are interacting with me understand how important that interaction actually is, especially to me. I use streaming as a way of staying positive, as a way of managing my own emotional issues. And it's very disconcerting because, of course, I'm very concerned about this person's well-being, but at the same time, there's a larger issue at play. Is the effect managing and realizing and looking like at the overarching theme of what this could do. This is a person who's been in our community and we've interacted with for a little while now, and I'm very concerned about them. I'm very concerned about the effect that this could have in our community. I'm very concerned about the fact that this could have in a larger group, because it's not just my community. This person's part of multiple different people's communities. And these types of activities and types of strain can actually cause a cascade effect that will have a negative impact dramatically on communities that could last for a very long time. And that ripple effect is dangerous. It's dangerous in the sense that, you know, we really are, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words, because this is not a situation I expected to find myself in. But at the same time, I'm the last person on the face of the planet to say, hey, you know what? It'll be okay. At the same time, that's what we're supposed to say.
All right.
And none of us knows what's going on in that person's life. It's just really unfortunate that based on everything that's going on right now, this seems like the viable out. And it's not. And it's really bad, because for those people who are holding on by a, you know, by a piece of floss, that's the string they're holding on to. And it is a very thin filament of material. It's terrifying.
It is. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I need people to understand, especially listeners, whether you're listening to this in the podcast or those listening live on the stream, there are options. And there are hotlines I know that you can call, but there are also resources. There are resources out there in your area, locally, online, via phone. At some point, you have, if that is the option, the last ditch effort you could at least make is calling a hotline, getting a hold of a professional, somebody who at least can give you some perspective or get you through to the right resources. And I'm not sure what else to, I'm not sure what else to say to this matter, because it's not an easy thing to talk about. It's something that requires the input of a mental health professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you look at like takethis.org, who, you know, that's Dr. Kelly Dunlap and is the outreach person for that. It's a mental health advocacy site, and this actually run by psychiatrists and psychologists, an entire team of them, and they are gamers, and they run communities, and it's I can't stress it enough. I'm gonna send this. I can't stress it enough. Like, this is probably, I think, one of those elements of community management that is not easy, and that people don't realize when they start getting into this side of the industry. Yeah, sure. This is not just about, hey, you have some friends that you game with and they follow you and they subscribe to you. There you go. Mm-hmm. You're creating a community. You're creating an environment that at the end of the day, it ends with you. And this is devastating to think that anybody was in this condition or reached that condition and I didn't do, and to think that there wasn't enough done in order to help preserve that precious life, because I don't obviously think that there was enough that was made evident that there was value in the laughter and the giggling and the gaming that they engage with me. So I know I've got several people working on it. Sorry, this hits hard because it's a difficult position to be put in, and given how tumultuous and traumatic 2020 was, given the clear path that is the 2021 is pointing itself in, this entire situation is nowhere near over. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do. Aside from I would normally call authorities and have somebody immediately sent to his house, except for I don't know where he lives.
Yeah, I mean, the hopes is that somebody in the community actually knows the person personally and knows who to contact or can contact them, things like that. As long as, I mean, you're doing your job as the head of a community by bringing attention to it and acknowledging it and hopefully bring it to the attention of somebody that has the capacity to, or the ability to, call somebody if they need.
Yeah.
So somebody like family, friends, anything like that. Something that's interesting that I thought was pretty amazing was that Facebook Gaming actually is offering, I think it's 3 months of counseling to all of their creators. If they want it, they can take it, and if not, but it's available to them. And I thought that was pretty awesome.
Okay, so I just received word he's actually in a chat with several other members of the community. Yeah.
So people shout, if you want to jump into that chat, dude, go ahead. I totally get it. I can talk about video games.
I hate to do this to the podcast, but given the potential for loss of life, I'm going to do that. I want to say thanks to everyone, and thank you for giving me the chance to step away and do this. This is an important thing, and as a community leader, I need to make a point of getting involved in that. So, thanks everybody, and I will be back next week for next week's show.
Yep.
Sorry
Keep me
about
updated,
that,
man. No worries.
We'll do. All right.
Bye. Well, now I'm on both sides. Can't just hang up on the call and mess up my crop. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait. Well, this doesn't make any sense. Now I have to fix everything. Here, let's just do this. That to the other camera. And what I'm gonna do here is boom, boom. Guys, so just keep it like that, just two of me. If you guys are listening on a podcast, you're missing out on some grade A content right now. I will tell you what. Let's put my camera here, shall we? Hi, it's me. And I'll just move that there. Boom, easy peasy lemon squeezy, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. That's me. It's me, and it's my other camera. It's camera number like 75 in my office. So I promised to tell you guys about how to get access to free games and games that you can create content with. And I'm going to do that. We're going to do that right now. And it's going to be amazing. Let me zoom out. Nope, that's zoom in. Okay. So, and I was gonna roll this into. DJ said he was talking about rearranging his schedule, things like and I think that's a really important thing to think about when you're thinking about really going at content creation full time. Is that being a full-time content creator doesn't mean streaming 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, because you're a streamer. Okay, I understand that content is happening live, but that's not content creation. It's really important to keep a schedule that allows you to be fresh all the time, and I can take my own advice because there's often times I've been on camera where I'm just like, But so make sure that you can take a break whenever you want to take a break, and just be fresh and be the best version of you during that stream. And maybe instead of doing an 8-hour stream every day, maybe do a 3 or 4 hour stream. Because that way it allows you more time to do other things. And I can walk you through what my actual schedule is. Okay, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday right now. Okay, and there is going to be some tweaking to that soon because of some different content I have planned and things like that. But I keep Tuesday off for a very specific reason. I have Saturday and Sunday off because family above all else. And then I have Monday, where it's kind of like, how was your weekend? See everybody again. What's going on? What do you have planned for the week? Kind of thing. And then I have Tuesday off. Tuesday, I do all my meetings and I do all of my video editing. I do all of my, I schedule all of my Instagram posts, my Facebook posts, my blah, 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 blah. And then the rest of the week, I don't have to worry about it. Especially now with new stuff like YouTube Shorts and things like that can really get attention brought to your content from outside of Twitch, which is something that's really important, especially since Twitch has zero algorithm, is to grow your brand on other channels, right? That's something that I've known for years and I've failed to really get into, like just dedicate myself to, because I never set a proper schedule. And if you don't set a schedule, it's easier to either forget or just say you're too busy to do the other stuff. Oh, I never got around to doing that all week. Well, set yourself a day. You know, a person that I think gives a lot of good advice, her name's Ashney Christ. I'm sure you guys know who she is, but she makes all of her content on Sundays for the entire week. She writes and records and edits, uploads everything that she plans on releasing for the week on Sundays. And that way during the week she doesn't have to worry about it. And the quality of life improvement that creates for you as a creator is immeasurable. Because the happier you are, the better your content will be. There's obviously always unforeseen circumstances that can affect your content, but positioning yourself to be able to handle those things and not have it completely derail everything is a huge advantage over 99% of content creators, because 99% of them don't do that. Now that aside's done, I do want to show you guys how I get game keys and how you can get game keys, more importantly. But I need to. There we go. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put that right there. Gonna uncrop it. Uncrop it, don't stop it. There we go. DJ Blue is now an internet browser. First site I'm going to go to is keymailer.co. And that is not what I typed in, internet. Keymailer.co. .co. Why are you doing this to me? Let's do it again. Keymailer. I'm just gonna use. I'm not typing in an address. Keymailer. Let's just do a search. There we go. They get you. They get you. Okay, so Keymailer. Super cool. Those of you who don't know, it's a site that publishers put up their games and you can request copies of them. The thing about this is that if you get a copy, you have to create content about it. You go into your profile and you put what platforms that you're on, what gaming platforms that you like to play on, your rates for certain things, and how this works is the more content you create, you get rated on algorithm. You can never see your own rating. You never actually know what's happening. But as you produce more content, you get more opportunities rather than just going to browse and seeing something that you're interested in or searching for something. Like I know Medium is on here, along with all of Microsoft's first-party games. They announced earlier this year, or no, a few months ago actually, that Microsoft first-party games are all going to be on Keymailer, and that they're adding Facebook gaming integrations, so Facebook gaming creators can take advantage of this growth opportunity. So you produce, say let's look at my keys. I didn't request any of these. They're just offered to me, right? So if you look in to this, I can redeem my key, but then I can also, once I redeem it on this side, there will be a spot for me to upload my coverage, and that means that I can just post a link to my YouTube or my Twitch video or whatever. And they see that, the developer sees that, and Keymailer sees that, you get rated, and then you get more opportunities. And I mean, opportunities ranging all the way up to getting physical things in the mail to review, collector's editions, things like that. So this is a great place. It doesn't have any stipulations about your size. You might not get everything you request from the get, but if you do these smaller, like indie games you're more likely to get those and stuff when you're first starting out. You can build up to the AAA games. And I got Maneater through Keymailer, and Maneater's fantastic. I was super happy to get that. Another thing you can do is go to terminal.io. Nope. It's terminals. Because internet. And this is kind of the same thing. Okay, it's the same. Here's my coverage. I played The Suicide of Rachel Foster. Fantastic game, by the way, if you like spoopy games. Moonlighter, also an awesome roguelike RPG, but the RPG is based around like you're an RPG shop owner and you have to keep items stocked in your store, so you have to go into dungeons and find these items and kill monsters and stuff. It's really cool. And then it gets into inventory management and stuff like that. So this is basically the same thing. Terminals.io also has a news section, and it's kind of a good place to go for press releases and things like that. If you have content that you like to do that talks about current news, current trends, current whatever, Terminals is a great source. You can sign up for their email to get press releases based on the content that you're interested in creating content for. But it's super easy. I actually got Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning from Terminals not too long ago, and I can't wait to play through that game again. Vigor I got through there, that's great. Yeah, so if you go into like Chronos Before the Ashes, click on that. You can see you can submit your coverage. You can watch other people's coverage. Platforms that's available for summation. Who's the publisher? Who's your contact? Who's this and this and this and this? Request keys. And then all the news, your press kits. You'll get your graphics, your trailers, your everything. If you're making YouTube content, it's an awesome professional resource for streamers. This is a great way if you're feeling like you're in a rut and you don't know how to contact publishers or anything like that. This is a great, fast, easy way to get into that. You can also contact publishers directly. And I've found over the years that the best strategy is to find the PR company that handles the particular release of whatever game. Usually the publisher is the one that will be giving out keys, not the developer. The publisher will have a stockpile. So, like, I wouldn't contact Infinity Ward if I was interested in Call of Duty content. I would contact Activision, specifically their PR people. And what I do is I introduce myself and ask them permission to send them more info. I don't just like hit them with a marketing deck and say, I'm this and this and this. I'm a Twitch partner, and I was a Mixer partner, Facebook partner, and YouTube partner, and I did all these things. Can I please have game? I don't care. I'm going to leave it brief. Hello, very interested. This is who I am. I'd like to make content for this game. May I send you some more information? A lot of times people will respond and say absolutely, because they appreciate your professionalism and brevity. Another added extra step that I don't think a lot of people do is when you require a game key through that method, respond to that email with a link to your coverage of that later. And then you can build a relationship with that publisher, with that PR person. Because all of a sudden you go from this little person that's not on anybody's radar to somebody who has a contact at Activision's PR, and you have a relationship, and you have, or whoever's, THQ Nordic or whomever. There's a lot less focus on raw numbers now, I think, as far as publishers are concerned, versus quality of content. When all of this first started, I think the magic 10,000 number was in stone. You had to have 10,000 followers, because that shows that you can build a community and blah 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 blah, and numbers equal ratings, because we learned that from TV and blah 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 blah. Well, that's obviously not true. You get your 10,000 followers tomorrow, if you're willing to pay, or if you want to put out a bunch of Facebook or Instagram ads. That's easy. That doesn't equal engagement. Numbers don't equal engagement in the streaming world, and publishers and companies are now catching up with the times and realizing that Twitch isn't TV. So ratings isn't really a thing. And I'm looking at these screenshots and I'm kind of interested in this game, and I might request a key. Excuse me. It's hot in here. The heat just kicked on. But those are things you can start right away. Just start requesting keys, and don't get impatient. Don't follow up within a few days or anything. If you don't get the key, follow up in a couple weeks to a month. It's and don't aim for AAA releases and getting them before release date and things like that. And do understand that NDAs are serious. If a publisher says, hey, we're going to give you this key for review, you cannot stream it. You can't produce YouTube content about it until X date. If you produce content, or if you stream this before the NDA is up, you'll be blacklisted. And if it's a big enough release, you can face legal action as well. Because when you sign an NDA, it's a legal binding agreement. You're saying, hey, I'm going to listen to everything you say, and I'm not going to leak anything. I'm not going to do this. So abide by those. And don't think if you get into like a closed alpha that has all these NDAs and stuff like that, that's going to be good for your streaming career or content creation career, because it's not, because you're not allowed to show it to anybody. You're not even allowed to tell anybody. I played Star Wars Squadrons a year before its release, and I wasn't allowed to say anything. You know how hard that was? But so it's important to remember to just be professional and keep your expectations where they should be. Keep them in check. You're not going to get some massive game weeks before it releases, and that's not how Tim the Tatman gets his games, and Gothalion and Lupo and all that stuff. That's a whole different thing. They're not requesting these things. They're big enough that they're being asked by the publisher, hey, can you please play this, you know, as a marketing arrangement. Those are the two main things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Well, the three main things. I think it's super valuable and super easy, and I know it has this kind of like what am I gonna try? You have this. There's this air about a streamer that has early access to stuff, and it's like, oh my god, he must be big, he must be important, he must be doing stuff in the background, and well, you know, with these two sites, you can be that person. You know, it's so easy. It's so easy. God, I love pixel art so much. I love you. Look at you. Oh, look at that beard. Look at that overworld map. Oh, that is full-on Final Fantasy overworld map right there. Kids, ask your parents. Multiple levels, items, and monsters. More in future updates. Soundtrack that matches the type of stage or situation. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And if you have any questions about any of this stuff, I'm always available at CupofRobots on Twitter, or in my Discord server, or in my Twitch channel, or, I mean, everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. Oh, the Sinking City is out! Oh my god. I missed that one earlier. Super Meat Boy Forever. So many good games, guys. Just so many good games. I could make an hour-long super cut of Super Meat Boy Forever, of me just screaming with veins bulging out of my head. Getting distracted. But it's just good, you know. Farm Manager 2021. It's amazing to me how huge. Ancient Abyss is very good. I actually played that. Oh! Here's another one. If you like indie games and you want to get paid, for playing them. Indie Boost and Catapult are amazing as well. So this, you can bid on the opportunity to create coverage for indie developers. And there's some really, really cool games I've played over the years. I'm very interested in Stay Out, actually. Stay Out is an MMORPG with shooter elements based on the spirit of stalking and urban exploration, searching and exploring mysterious, abandoned, and forgotten by humanity pieces of our planet. They missed so many hyphens in that. Yeah, see, that's cool. So sponsor note, you'll see sponsor notes. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be strong. No, it's fine. Produce coverage of your channel or post amount of time. Post your content due between January 4th and February 7th. Post a provided link in your chat on a timer if stream or in your video description. Disclose the video is sponsored by Catapult. Share the provided bit.ly link in your social media. See? And all you got to do, and then you can say, I'll cover this for X amount of dollars for X amount of minutes. And you can find some really cool stuff. I used to do a Indie Thursday on Twitch when I first, before switching platforms, and then switching back and switching. Where I just did Indie Thursday, and that's where I would line up like 5 of these and do an hour each of these games, and just cover them, and then afterwards edit videos and stream them or ship them over to the developers, and it's awesome. Hot potato indeed. That's me. Cup of hot potato. Cup potato. And that's all I got, guys. I'm glad we got to get to this, and I'm sorry that DJ is not with me, but he did have an emergency that he had to handle. And I'm going to go check in on him after this, and I do hope that you'll join us next week at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday for the penultimate January edition of Screaming of the Next Level. We will be continuing to give you tips about how to take over 2021 and make it yours. How to step up your content creation game, and I hope you found this information useful. And for those of you listening, please make sure you stop by and follow DJBluePDX on Twitch, and I am CupofRobots. And you guys have been amazing, and I love your faces. And I will see you next week.